Yeah, nah, 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 nah.
Oh, reverb, delay.
How are we going? We good now?
Yeah, we're good.
You know,
As
what
always,
was?
it's not a show without some technical difficulty.
What we have is a technical difficulty.
But you are just
Bang.
opening up a whiskey.
Yeah. Life is good because now it's Thursday.
Yes,
So I feel good about life.
Uh,
Thanks for getting here on time.
well, I
think it's
before the
this.
start of the
Is it now?
show?
Is it this? It's got audio coming through it?
It's not on.
There's audio coming from somewhere.
Anyway, how are you, Davo?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
How's your week?
I think I'm in no man's land.
What do you
Is that
mean?
it's just no man's land. It's like it's not the start of the season. It's not the end of the season. It's the middle of the. I feel like it's half time, and I'm just sitting around dodging Neil Danaher's commentary towards you, feeling like I'm ducking like you would, and I'm just not here, there, or anywhere.
And you're not even playing football.
No, which is really weird. Why I'm saying I was at half time. How's your week?
You're good. I've had this conversation already this week. It's an interesting thing that you say. Please, I would love a none such whiskey.
Evening, Ruth.
One of the best whiskeys you'll ever have. Have it straight, have it neat, however you want it. It is good. I had this conversation earlier in the week. It's a long year. We're busting through this season fast, though. Like, what are we up to? Round 8?
Exactly. So,
9, 8,
I don't
9,
know.
8. That's how up with it we are.
We should know. It is a footy podcast.
No.
Someone tell us.
You know,
Ruth, what round is it?
it's round 8, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And we're busting through it real fast, but it's for me as a past player, I can tell you genuinely, and this is what I said on a radio interview this morning, you get to round 15 and there is a real fatigue because it's not just round 1 or round 0 when you start playing football. You start months before in a pre-season and you're basically preparing for half a year before you get into the season itself. And then once the season starts, then the fatigue comes from not necessarily hurting the body through pre-season craziness. It's mental fatigue. The fatigue of expectations from yourself to perform, your coaching staff, your team, your supporters, your family, whether it's real, it's probably not even real. It's something that you manifest, but you feel it anyway. And there would be days, I swear to God, I remember clearly feeling this, a beautiful, crisp Saturday afternoon, or be midday.
Imagine playing games on Saturday afternoon. That'd be a novelty.
Wouldn't that be ridiculous? Preposterous.
That
That didn't happen, never did
Back
it?
in my day, I played on a Saturday afternoon.
The hell you say?
Go on, crisp day.
That's a saying that doesn't get used
The
enough.
hell you
The
know?
hell you say? And you'd be driving the MCG and I could see it off in the distance, the Punt Road. I'm doing and living the dream. I'm doing everything that I ever wanted to do, and all young fellas all around the country and women would love to do. Play at the heartbeat of Australia, really, isn't it? Like the MCG is in terms of sport. And
It's a
I
nice
just
way of saying it.
I
The
just-
heartbeat.
Well, it's the heart. It's the centre.
cultural
of-
centre.
It is for Melbourne, absolutely.
Wow.
And if you consider that it is probably the capital of sport in Australia,
Maybe one of the capital sporting
Of the world.
Of the world.
and I know
We're a bit biased. but
stadiums are getting amazing everywhere.
The heartbeat.
But the MCG still retains its amazingness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm driving to play on it, and I literally turned to my wife and said, I don't want to play football today. I just don't want to play. She's like, why? I'm just tired, and I know I'm going to be playing on a superstar halfback flanker who's designed to stop me. I've got to get a kick, and if I don't kick a goal in the first quarter, they're just going to say, oh, the enigmatic Russell Robertson, he either gets a kick or he doesn't. Oh, he was terrible today. 3 worst on votes for Triple M. All that negativity starts flowing through your body. It's a challenge. It's hard. And then it's only around 8. I'm talking around 15. But I think as supporters, we absolutely start to go, God.
Oh, it's tiring. Like, I'm tired. tired.
Supporting your team's tiring.
Well, especially mine. Although they got when you get a win, it's a win. But no, I hear you. Like it's a long road, and you're talking about round 15. These players are like, oh, we're tired and we need a bye. They've already had 2 buys.
But everybody else lives a normal life, and they're going to work every day. I mean, bear a thought, and for those people,
well, we get the weekend off. Most of us, we got kids though, so it's not really off.
Everyone has their tough stuff in life, don't they? And AFL players do too. Women and men that play AFL football, AFLW, AFL, the pressures of that. It's insane. It's the magnifying glass on you all the time. The pressure that I had in 2008, 9, 7, 6, forget about 97, 98, 90, it was like no media really on us. Was Channel 7 and a little bit of Fox Footy as it started to come in, and the Herald Sun, maybe a little bit of the Age, but only a little bit in the Age. Now it's everywhere, and we pick the eyes out of everyone and everything. And
yeah, we do.
Because it's a great game, and I understand it, But you do have to spare a thought or bear a thought, whatever the saying is, for the individual. What is the saying?
What did you say?
Bear a thought. Bear a thought.
Bear a thought.
For the individuals that we are ripping into because of
their people.
Yeah.
Their kids.
Make mistakes.
This whole social media thing, like we'll cover this in a little bit, but it's definitely in mind. We've got to do a top 5 tonight. We're going to do a top 5 of Nars.
Yep.
And I'm not going to preview mine, but one of them is the social media scrutiny.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
There's just because and I think as adults we're scrolling too much. And then we say this and there's people like sitting on the couch now listening to us complain about the fact that they're on social. We get the irony.
Heaps of people.
Not heaps. There's definitely not heaps. Hello, Joe. Hello, Pam. And hello, Ruth. And Barry. The regulars are all in for the show.
Love you. Love you, guys.
No, it's a good. You've spoken well, and I think like the fact that people are saying we need buys, and they were tired already. We already need a buy. Then the fixture's not right, or the scrutiny's not right, or the training's not right. Something's not right if you're only 7 weeks into a season and you need a break.
The game has evolved. The game changes every single year. It gets bigger, arguably gets better. It gets faster. There's more people involved on and off the field, so we have to evolve as people, and we have to evolve the sport itself. The people that are running it and the way we deal with our athletes needs to evolve as well because there are some real problems starting to show up. And we're seeing them online and we're hearing about things and we're going, it's been happening for a little while, but it's getting worse. I feel like it's getting worse. And it's part of my Nars.
It's in mine too. Don't preview it. I think no, but I hear you. I think we had a discussion during the week and we talked about a club's responsibility to the playing group. And I look at it so black and white. I basically go, they are an employer and the people playing are an employee. And for some reason, these clubs or the media makes it feel as though these clubs need to be responsible for what these kids do outside of the hours of what they're doing. How on earth are they supposed to know what these kids are doing outside, and how are they going to elicit this control? Now, I know nothing about running a club, only know about working in management. And if I was having to manage like my team over a weekend to find out what they were doing on a Saturday night and how they turned up on Sunday morning when they're not even working, who cares?
Yeah.
I just think there's just too much. There's just too much of this going on. And so I think we can, this is coming up in our Nars. This is we're going over the top and there's too much scrutiny and we're debating it, but we're debating it in a way that's saying, I think we all need to back off. I think there are too many shows scrutinizing everything that is done. We've got to stop crossing to Ralphie or whoever the guy is that goes like he went for a walk and he was seen with the dog at the park with a beer in his hand.
We'll get into that.
I don't know. That was me probably. I don't know why I said the dog and the guy in the park.
With the beer,
because that's not really what that would cross to.
You didn't have a beer in your hand anyway.
No,
you had a whiskey.
I had a whiskey. Or one of the gins. Let's be honest.
We are unveiling this new segment, because of the wonderful expression that is, nah. That's what we mean by that when when we say it. Yeah. Nah. Oh, we Australians, we've got
Very
it
Australian.
sorted, haven't we?
We're really good.
Like,
Quick to respond. They're the only ones that can put F in this one sentence and make it make sense.
I saw a couple of YouTubers from. I've met them actually. They're ripping guys. I'm not going to tell you the name of what they are, but they
Are they full-time YouTubers?
Well, I think it's maybe, let's just say social media, because maybe it's not just YouTube. They commentate, they're twins, and they comment, their brothers. They commentate famous bits of sports, and they just overdub it.
Yeah, my kids have shown it to me. It's amazing.
They're the best guys.
Yeah.
They are the best guys, and they've recently, just through knowing people, friends of family, they went over to the NFL draft. I think it was in Detroit, and they've gone wearing Rams tops because they're Rams fans, and they've got up and just got stuck into the Detroit Pistons, and they're getting booed off stage, and they go backstage, and they check them out. They're really good. Actually, I'm going to figure out what they. I can't remember the names, but they are still loved because they're Aussies. In America, I think everybody just loves Australia because we're so laid back and our expression. Yeah, nah. I think that's what they love about us the most.
I lived in America for 3 years, and everyone was just like, "Oh my God, your accent. Where are you from?" And you go, they say New Zealand or Australia, and you go Australia, and they go, "Oh my God, say something again. Can I get a flat white, please?" Oh my God,
Speak
it's
to me
so
more.
amazing, so amazing. And then when we came back to Australia, it was just so disappointing. It was just like you go get a coffee and they
you
go,
like me?
What?
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah, like millennial, yeah.
You like me, and you'll go to you'll be abroad somewhere, and say it's Bali, and you'll hear Australian talking, and you can hear it a mile off, and you're like, oh, yuck. Do I sound like that too?
I said to Fee once, I was in the airport, in Dubai airport, and I go, "Can you hear that frequency?"
Yeah.
There's a frequency that you can hear in the airport, and it's about at this level. And you go, "That's the Australian conglomerate over there. You can see all the tracksuits." Well, Perth has more parachute tracksuits than anyone. I say this too now because I'm wearing tracksuit. Like I'm wearing parachute tracksuit.
You're in your home. You're allowed to do that. Hey, Davo,
nice
what
to be
about the football on the weekend? We watched. We'll quickly just briefly touch on Melbourne's last game. It was nothing that you'd time capsule, would you?
Review.
You're not going to bring it out in 150 years and
review it again. You wouldn't go back and, rewatch it. No. Nor should we really reflect on it.
Oh, it was hard to watch. We were at David Neats's rooftop bar.
Yes.
Brewmanity.
Yeah.
Down in it's South Melbourne, isn't it?
Yep.
And watching it on the TV screens, you were cold.
Yeah, I'm always cold.
I've got a great little bit of footage of that. I actually should have put it up for the people to watch. I might do that next week. And how many times we butchered the ball. There was just collective groans across the rooftop, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Every time we made mistakes. But it kind of was league-wide almost over the weekend, except for probably a handful of teams. Maybe
they're all tired. They needed a bye. They needed a break. It's been really long 7 rounds or 5 for some or even 6. It's been really hard.
It's
especially Melbourne that had to go to Adelaide, such a long way away.
Yeah, who was it that said? I think Craig McRae said, and I think props to Craig McRae. Collingwood just keep doing it right for me at the moment. It's really sacrilegious for me to say that as a Melbourne person, but he said...
You've said a lot of positive things about Collingwood recently. I'm starting to worry about you.
Maybe I said it last week on the show, but he actually said to the media, it's an unfair draw. It is an unfair draw because we play Magpies more games on the MCG than anybody else, and Port Adelaide and the West Coast Eagles, your mob, travel every second week effectively. It's unfair.
Why is he saying that?
I don't know, but good on him.
Yeah, 100%. Because actually, one of the things that I was thinking about with our Nars, one of them is like the bias of the draw, like why Collingwood's getting the blockbuster games all the time. When we had Brad Green in, it was like the big clubs keep getting bigger, and then there was a comment about Eddie Maguire saying, you know, with the traditional big clubs like Richmond and like, you know, and I was going, they've only got big because they've been given prime time for a long period of time and they've had a bit of success.
That's right.
And like, I just think it's really biased. And I just think it's not fair to not be moving things around. And if this thing is a financial, like if there's financial gain to be had for clubs, not all of them are owned by the AFL. We had an interesting discussion actually on the couch as to who owns the AFL, how many clubs they own and which clubs they own. And which ones are privately owned and which ones are different. And like the 2 West Australian clubs are owned by the West Australian Football Commission.
Right.
But the AFL owns Swans. They own all the regional, everyone else that's regional. And
Geelong?
the Victorian, no, not regional. That's like Victorian, so it can't be regional.
Geelong's
And the rest are owned by the people.
Geelong's Country Bumpkin.
Yeah. It's, yeah, I was going to say regional and then the interstate. But that it's sort of interesting.
It is.
I think it's interesting because then I wonder about things like, okay, so if they own this stadium, are they going to make those other teams play at the stadium more than the others? And if there's I don't know, I just vested interest. I actually have no idea what I'm talking about, but
No, but it's interesting.
I think it's interesting because the draw is biased, and kids are going to keep watching the teams that they get media exposure to. Like my team that won the basketball today, they're through to the next round, the Celtics. Mate, no one liked the Celtics 3 or 4 years ago.
No.
They start winning games, they start getting close to the playoffs, they start getting on prime time. Every kid's walking around in a Jason Tatum top all of a sudden.
I'm a Dallas Maverick fan. We won 2 today.
Did you? Oh, well, we'll see you. We'll see you in a bit.
Wow, we've got one more game to go. Beat the Clippers. If we beat them one more, we're into the next round.
Remind you, the Heat had 2 of the best players out.
Clippers, Harden, Westbrook, he's no good. And, George can play.
Do they have Kyrie still?
Who?
Kyrie
Mavericks?
Irving?
Mavericks?
Yeah, oh, no, not Mavericks. Clippers.
No.
Oh,
He never played for the Clippers. He's with the Mavericks now.
He's a flat earther. He thinks the world is flat.
I don't care.
I don't think he's going on that well
as
anymore.
long as he shoots well, I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't shoot flat. Should we get into yeah-nahs? Because I think it's going to dominate a fair bit of discussion. And we'll finish off by talking about the Demons this week and a few changes and where we're at.
Let's hit it. What we're going to do, I only have 3. I said 5, but I'm only going to do 3.
Yeah, I think it might be too much.
Do you want to go 1-1 or do you want to just go for it? And then we want to ask you guys what you think and you can tell us which one you think is good. So my first one is the bullshit of the draw.
Yep.
On two points. One is the rich clubs getting the best games all the time. And I really just want to go to a game on a Saturday afternoon. Like that's... Kids sport is sort of designed for Saturday morning most of the time and often Sunday morning, and we often revolve around what the AFL used to do. Now the AFL is just playing left, right and centre everywhere, including Thursday nights.
Yep.
I don't want to watch football on Thursday night. Yep. I'm not ready, and this is part of the fatigue. I think the players are fatigued themselves who are playing because they're watching Thursday night too and they should stop.
I understand. We understand that there's Anzac Day games as well that throws, Wednesday we played. There's a few things going on there, but it just... The purists will say, let's go back to Saturday football. Well, of course, we're not going to be doing that at all.
No.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday is where we should cap it.
Yeah, fine. And because Perth will end up with the Sunday late game, so you still get a Sunday late game over here. You got multiple games on a Saturday. Friday night is the big, I've finished work for the week for those that work Monday to Friday, and we're going to go to the pub and we're going to get together. But Thursday night, no thanks. Monday, definitely not. Tuesday, forget it. Wednesday, joke. And no round 0.
So week-long football.
Everything is ruined because of round 0.
Week-long football, yeah.
Nah.
I think it's, I think you'll get 90% of people out there in Listen Land agreeing with that one.
Only one thing, because I wanted to have an argument that suggested that it's not working. It is working because the memberships are still up for all of the clubs, despite spreading the game so far and wide.
I still think that would happen anyway. Football's such a great game. We don't need to have it on a Thursday night for that to continue to go in a linear up.
I just don't see, like the Melbourne games that I've been to, which I haven't been able to get to that many, the crowd, given that they've got nearly 70,000 members, there ain't 70,000 people at that game.
Yeah.
There's 30 if you're lucky. And you're there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And as it gets cold...
It gets worse.
Oh,
yeah,
hit the snow.
Absolutely. So my first year now
Yeah.
is
And you can agree if you have a yeah, nah of mine that I did.
yep. Well, I agree with what you just said.
Yeah. Did you have that in your top yeah, nah?
No, I didn't. But I love it.
Okay. That's good.
It's not that. It's
You
not.
guys can let us know what you think of the yeah, nahs too. Like tell us, nah, rubbish, move on, or yeah. Yep,
Okay, so
cool.
mine is it's all about the tribunal. Do the guys that are running the tribunal, and I mean the guy that's running it, and we know who he is, should he be sacked? Should we get a whole new bunch in?
Should we
Because
put him in the tribunal.
because because the head high contact, dangerous tackle has got us all confused is the word, but frustrated.
Yeah.
And if we're frustrated as supporters, as people watching, if we don't understand what's going on, I'm telling you right now, the players are worse because they're living it and trying to do something that changes, the landscape changes every single year. I understand, and I know you'll all say, well, but that always happens, Robbo. There's always rule changes. No,
Doesn't have to be.
it doesn't have to
That's
be.
my next one.
So why is tackling different now to the way it was 20 years ago? Because I don't remember anyone getting knocked out from a tackle 20 years ago. I don't.
Why then?
And maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's because
Maybe state it. You
I
know why.
think it's because we were ready for it.
Yeah.
We were prepared.
Yeah.
And so we did things to make sure we didn't get hurt. So
Yep.
arms pinned, I understand. In a tackle, sling to the ground. It happens. But I, as a player, take that on and go, yep, I understand that can happen to me. Okay? And I'll try to take measures to make sure that doesn't happen. Head high hits, we used to cover up. Now they don't instinctively cover up.
Yeah.
They don't even look for it anymore because they have never played in a time where it was coming. Now, you can't tell me.
Before I finish, remember when people used to go running back into a back and they go, wow, I ran back with courage. Now
Yeah.
it's just like people are doing that left, right, and centre.
You-
Keep going. Can't tell me.
You can't tell me that football is more dangerous now. You can't tell me that there were more people getting knocked out back then than what they are now. I know why we're doing it because of people coming forward now, like my old teammate Sean Smith have had brain injuries. But the science around it now is, okay, once you have a concussion playing a dangerous sport, you need to have 3 weeks out.
Yep.
And I think we all sign up to that and go, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
But then we also sign up to the idea that I'm a chance to get hit in the head. You know, it's a contact sport.
Yeah.
And I choose to play. So you don't. This is a real deep. It's too much to talk about on what we've got here because people are going to get bored and we've got a game to get to because what is it, Thursday night? We're going to get
Thursday
to
gives a shit. It's Adelaide.
But the players are so confused. It's that, I don't know. I want to ask anyone out here in Facebook land. I know Davo's got in front of. Did you read
I
Angus
agree.
Brayshaw's brother's comments today? I sent it to you, Davo. Amazing read. Hamish Brayshaw wrote something. He plays over in Perth at the moment, I think. And he wrote
You think? He plays for
online
Fremantle.
somewhere a big letter to the open letter to the AFL, and it's brilliant. Search it out.
We'll
Find
post it.
We'll post it
definitely
here.
post it. Gary's saying it's brilliant.
It's so good.
What was so good about it?
There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
He's basically saying what I'm saying. We are just so confused with what you're saying.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
at the very core of what he's saying is last year, a bloke knocked out and ruined the career of my little brother. Not just him. Obviously, it was an accident
Yeah.
and we're not blaming him directly, but he got hit in the head and the AFL decided that Collingwood
Yeah.
shouldn't lose a key player. And then as soon as the year ended, they knee-jerked and changed the whole thing and said, yeah, it is worth the week. In fact, you know what? 3 weeks this year. He also goes on to say something like, if you say a homophobic slur, you get 4 weeks, but you can hit someone in the head, knock them out and potentially end their career and get off last year.
It's disgusting.
It's just all over the shop. And Michael Christian is running things. He knows football and he's a very smart man, but I just think, you know what?
Nah.
Somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. It's wrong. It's really wrong.
I don't like it.
And I don't think it's. You're right. I think players we're definitely not condoning that people. We don't like the idea of people getting hit in the head. But I think players are putting themselves at risks. I think there are more instances of. It's not even the sling tackles, but it's like players are flopping or they're
LeBron Jamesing it.
Yeah, if you're in a hard tackle, which I never am, but if you were in a hard tackle and you were trying not to get thrown to the ground, what would you do? Not stand on one leg and try and kick the ball away. If you stand on one leg, you're going to get thrown to the ground. This is what I'm talking about.
And I had a coffee, and I'll drop this name right here, David Rees-Jones. And he said to me, Robbo, we were ready for the hit. We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And I said, what, that one with Dennis Banks when he hit you from behind? And he goes, yeah, he goes, but I deserve that because that was a square up. So I accept that. It's just great. But you played a game and you knew that it was physical and you knew it was coming, and guys back then knew how to protect, even more so than the people of my era. There's a lot to this, and we could go on for ages about it, but I just feel like we need to let it. Well, do you know what we need? We might need to open it back up and go, you know what? It was accidental. You got hit in the head. He accidentally did it, and play on. So then maybe the knee-jerk reaction to that is players.
It's just so oversensitive, and you got to cross to, like, someone goes to get the ball and the guy puts his head down and he goes to pick it up and they go, oh, and then the commentators spend bloody 3 minutes going, let's have another look at another other angle, look at his eyes, look at, he didn't have time, he was doing, the guy was bending down to pick a ball up, right? And look at this and this, and then they cross to Ralphie, and Ralphie's going, well, it's high and it's intent, and it's like, oh my God, you just like move on.
I feel like this is the big one for this year, and it will continue to be a narrative for a while, and we are not going to get it right.
Jenny Love said they should all wear helmets, which I don't disagree with, but I also worry that then leads to NFL type behaviour where it's like, okay, let's now smack each other in the head.
Are we talking hard helmets?
No, like Brayshaw's helmet.
Just Brayshaw. Well, the apparently they're saying the protection really is marginal. It's not really going to help that much. That's what they say. Can I quickly just read for the people that are listening? They want to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'll just read a little bit. Dear AFL, this is from Hamish Brayshaw. I normally swear on here and act like an idiot. However, there will be no profanity or hyperbole in this letter. These are my honest and bewildered thoughts as a current player and a lifetime fan of the greatest game in the world. Good start.
Sucking up there at the start of it.
The tribunal and match review panel are single-handedly destroying the game. You are making it impossible to play in good spirit. You're making it impossible to adjudicate, and you're not far off making it impossible to support. Over the past 12 months, this is my interpretation of the rules of the game based on what I'm hearing and seeing coming directly from the AFL. And I'll just read this next paragraph, and that's it, because there's a lot more. Protect the head at all costs, obviously, unless a head knock is the result of a football act. But then it depends on how hard you get hit in that football act, and if the player had any other alternatives. But also the player needs to take into account the potential to cause to harm. But of course, it shouldn't depend on the outcome of the opponent, unless, of course, it does result in a concussion. But even then, if it depends on the intent. But of course, a player is entitled to attack the ball with good technique. But it doesn't matter if the opposition runs in head first, like how every kid player playing the game growing up gets taught not to do. But then, of course, it depends on the state of the game and at the time of the year. It depends on whether or not we need to make an example out of someone. But then don't forget they had a clear record in the past and do charity work. Then obviously they can only matter once and never again, because from now on that doesn't count. And it depends on the player and the team they're on. But really, it all boils down to protecting the head, because we're seeing more players retire from concussion than ever before. But we still let a guy play next week after punching someone in the face in the goal square because it wasn't hard enough to hurt them. That's just the first paragraph. It's confusion.
A must read.
It's confusion everywhere. And there wasn't, my argument is there wasn't confusion 10, 15 years ago because we knew we could get hurt. And we did things to make sure we didn't get hurt. Now they think they're never going to get hurt, and they don't know how to protect themselves, because the AFL Tribunal and the people that are running this game have tried to cotton wool everything so much.
Yes.
To avoid litigation in the future.
Do you remember we would go there on a Saturday afternoon with a meat pie and a sauce and a beer in the other hand, and you'd be yelling because you're like, what's going on? Rah, 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 crazy, and you're frustrated, and you're like, this is great. Now you're at the football and you're going, meep, score review. Yeah. You're like, what are they doing now? And then they're going, oh, free kick, free
What's
kick,
happening?
free kick, free kick, free kick, free kick, free kick, free kick. You're sitting there with your meat, but your platter of avocados aren't very ripe at the moment either. But yeah, you get my point. It's lost this sheer passion, and now it's just confusion, and the fans are confused too now. We're all looking around going, oh, really?
Who was the Adelaide player that went in to get the ball the right way and in the process of doing that,
Oh, I don't know.
I think it might have been...
It's Adelaide, plays for Adelaide.
And he hit him in the head. This is why we're not working on Fox Footy, because we don't know the name.
We have no idea what's going on. Well, because it's not our job.
Hit the opposition player in the head, and I think he got weeks. Then Butters from Port Adelaide goes in, doing this same act, hits him in the head, but then Michael Christian comes out and says, we feel like it was a football act. But they're all football acts.
Everything's a football act.
Unless, of course, he's gone up to him and punched him in the head deliberately. And this is what I hate. I hate it when guys walk past and elbow someone real hard.
Yeah.
What's the difference between that and hitting somebody in a football act?
I don't get it.
I
don't get if they want to get real
tough.
Yeah, the retaliation stuff that goes on, and I don't get why the umpire just doesn't go free kick. You're holding him. You can't actually grab him and pull him to the ground. That's a free kick. They sort of go, oh well, they're fighting, so that's cool. That's a football act. We'll just let the fight go until we're ready, and then we'll throw it out. Like Barras got suspended for slinging Walters. It looked sort of bad, but it made no impact to him. His head didn't even hit the ground. It hit the ball. And he got up without any issue, played on, and it was like, well, your intent was to sling him, and the ball was there, therefore it's a week. And you're like, yeah, but...
Because everyone's going, oh, when they see something now. Oh, that was a bit, 10, 15 years ago, we didn't do anything except watch the game and eat a pie.
I know, and because it doesn't replayed a million times over, and there's no liability.
This is my thing.
It's just getting frustrating, and I think it's what's causing me to be tired.
It's a must read. It's a must read. We'll move on from this.
Quickly, number 2 for me then. Bob the Builder, can we fix it? No. Stop trying to fix everything. I'm sick of the knee-jerk reaction.
Yep, knee-jerks.
The first thing after that amazing draw between Essendon and Collingwood, which I absolutely loved because I dislike both clubs, so I like that no one won. And I went, this is brilliant. This is serendipity. Yeah. I am super happy as a supporter of neither club to watch both of them walk off the ground. But that's sport. That's a draw.
Yeah.
Draws happen all the time. Not that often in the AFL. And when it does happen, it's exciting. Yeah. And sure, in the finals and in the grand final, you're going to need to have time on because you're going to need a result. But in the regular season, it's just awesome. And the first thing the commentators are saying, well, we really need to look into this. It's a real hollow, empty feeling. Maybe we should be paying extra time. And then they're pushing the agenda. And you're like, not news, people. Draws have been around forever. Let's keep it a draw.
It adds to the drama of the year itself.
I love it.
Because
it's going to be a draw. It's going to be a draw.
Well, because now Essendon and the drama of that, but then you get to the end of the year, Essendon and Collingwood, they got 2 points in that game, not the 4 that everybody else got, or the 4 points they didn't get. So maybe they don't make the finals based on that. Maybe they do. It just adds to the drama, and I love it. And do you know what they did on TV? I don't know whether it was Fox. I can't remember, but they showed Nick Maxwell going off about how the drawn grand final, this is bullshit, we need a result, like no one knows what's going on. That was a grand final, you dumbasses. During the season, shut up. It's a draw. It's always, we need to retain some things that are tradition.
I love it. As a West Coast Eagles supporter, if we got a draw, we'd be like, yes, we got 2 points. Just keep moving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, what do you got next? I've only got 3 yeah-nahs. So I'm just yeah-nah. Like, stop fixing it. Stop doing the score review, knee rejects. Stop having a thing every week. Oh, we're going to be hot on holding the ball this week. They have this meeting on a Monday, I'm sure, and they go, what are we going to do this week? And you're like, no, just leave the game alone.
Yeah. Let it play out. let the game play out. Let the year play out. Stop coming in over the
messing
top
with it.
and messing with it.
Stop all the gather
One of
rounds.
mine was going to be O-round, but I think we're all in agreement that didn't work. So, to O-round. The one that I do, and this is going to raise its head a little bit, and this is why I want to jump in first with it. I think there needs to be, and you'll appreciate this one coming from the world that you live in, and HR has been a part of your world.
Yeah.
There needs to be a department of the AFL that deals with people that have got the shits on with their club or the AFL.
All right. Well,
And there is a process
there probably is.
of, no, there's not, because
The complaints department.
hear me out. Yeah, effectively a complaints
Complaints
department.
department.
And if you don't go via the complaints department with your complaint, no matter how small or how big it is, it becomes, if you don't use it, it becomes nothing. You can't use it. It's like it's inadmissible
Do you get
in life.
how many complaints do you get a year? Is it only like
Well, you
limited?
can have as many complaints as you want.
Okay.
They'll be, and of course, this is going to have flaws everywhere, and I understand that. But just hear me out, because people are teeing off on social media and making names for themselves sometimes not. Sometimes people have been given the lemon and sauce by a football club and they are just jaded. My club is littered with it at the moment. Our ex-president, players,
Oh, yes.
some issues that have gone down that we know over the summer period. And one in particular is teeing off through the media and politicians and now you've
That's
gone
nonsense.
like, in if you've done something wrong, your lawyer will tell you don't. If you're an AFL player, don't. I can't comment on this. I can't comment. I'm not allowed to comment because this is going through.
I just thought they weren't that smart. That's why it was like not allowed to comment.
I did it. I'm gonna say this. So I'm allowed to have this.
Can you now?
Thought, because when I got the arse from the Melbourne Football Club, I wasn't happy. None of us are. Not all of us get to have a nice farewell. See you later. Yeah. I was very disappointed, and I was very much a part of that awful 2008, 2009 period, 2010 period, where the Melbourne Football Club just unceremoniously dumped all our long-term players and just put all these time into these poor kids that had no idea what to do yet and needed old guys around. But I'm not going to go into it because it's another whole story. I was part of that, and maybe I was at the end of my career, so I shan't go into it too much.
Yes.
But at least another year to help some of these kids might have been a good thing.
Yes.
But I may have teed off somewhere on some interview somewhere. Jim Steins rang me, and he basically just said, because he was president at the time, he said, Robbo, you just got to stop. Just, it sucks. It happened, but this is not going to work out well for you, because you know what? The AFL and the Melbourne Football Club are going to be here in 100 years, and you're not. And no one cares. Really, really no one really cares whether you... Now, don't use the media as a place to go and...
But they can.
But they shouldn't.
But they can.
Because it just makes everybody else go, oh,
it's a vehicle and they
God.
know it and the public want it and
Do they,
therefore they
though?
feed it.
Do they really?
They feed this stuff.
Is it a good look?
No,
Like something
it's
might
not.
happen to your West Coast Eagles, and
It
you've
is.
seen a post from someone, and I've sent it to you.
I've seen it.
Do you want the media having a look at
I
Harley
couldn't
Reid?
give a flying I could not care less what he's messaging. I don't care what you message. I barely care what my kids message. I don't care what Harley Reid's doing on his phone.
You would care what your kids are messaging.
Yeah,
That's
I do
what
care
they're
what my
messaging.
kids. I said I nearly don't
And I'm
care.
not going to send you any nudie pics
But
of
I
me.
mean-
And then you would care. Hey,
I would
Davo,
care if you
check
sent it
out
to me.
check out my ass.
Yeah, if you sent that to me, I would care. I'd care a lot. I'd care to block you and so don't do that anymore. That's not funny.
Dude.
It doesn't fit on the screen.
Dude, don't.
Use 0.5 filter if you're going to put your photo of your ass because it doesn't fit. You have to zoom out or get someone else to take it.
So I sent a photo of my ass and I said with the message underneath, look, Dave, I think your phone screen's got a crack in it. Childish. Come on.
yeah.
No, seriously.
God.
Going back to
The
my
only
point.
reason why you didn't say anything was because Jim Steins was calling you. If you had some president that
when
you
he-
just didn't give a shit, you'd be like, all right,
No,
mate,
I was
I'm going
angry.
to the media.
I was angry, really angry, disappointed. And I know, looking back on it now, it was it wasn't the best look because you know what? I probably was at the end of my career, and Melbourne did have to move on. And yes, I wasn't the most defensive forward of all time, and football was beginning to go that way. But my word, I was pretty good offensively, so that made it okay. Hey, mate, I missed half the games that year, and I still won the goal kick in 09. Anyway. That's another story.
Well,
but my point is this, and I'll quickly move off it.
Yes.
If you've got...
Stop complaining.
If you've got something legally, an issue with a football club, if it's going to have big ramifications for players and people, there should be a complaints department.
Don't they have an integrity thing?
They do, but they don't use it. You shouldn't use the media, and as soon as you use the media, can't use it anymore. Inadmissible.
But that's a little bit like in corporate, and forgive me for anyone that works in HR, but you don't talk to HR because they're like legal. And as soon as you talk to them, they've got to document it and then they've got to interview everyone and then it becomes like a little mini court case. And you're like, we could have just gone to the pub and sorted all of this out. We really didn't need to get anyone involved. But I guess, your point, I think what you're trying to say, which is my third,
go on,
is enough of the media off-field nonsense. Yeah. I just don't give a shit what 19 and 20-year-olds are doing on their phones, at the pub, who they're dating. I don't care. I just want to watch football. That's all I want. And maybe I'm different. I would like to know what other people think, but I don't care. I don't care who they're dating. I don't care where they're going. I don't care what food they eat. I don't care what golf clubs they're using, what golf club they play at. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but you're one of a minority. A lot of people do care that Christian Petrarca is sponsored by Coles or Woolies and he does all that.
I did see what he was cooking and I quite liked it.
Yeah.
So that was what I did see.
There's some positives.
And social media does have positives, but there's stuff going on about Harley Reid, and I just couldn't give a shit.
It seems like it's timing, isn't it? It seems like the right time to bring out something about this guy who's going to become the greatest player of all time, and I really think he's going to be a really good player. But to bring this story out, and if you haven't caught wind of it, it's salacious, and I don't even think it's true. I just think it's somebody making something up.
Well, it came from a Fremantle supporter, didn't it? Flag Mantle or something.
So it's absolute load of crap.
Like I got a message from a friend of mine today from the West Australian. Back page paper is just a full page caricature of him, which is what you usually reserve for a premiership team when they've won the grand final.
It's hard,
this kid's played 3 games and they've got a cartoon of him on the back page, and the other one's got like 8-page lift out of Nat Fyfe.
Oh yeah. But what about his last game? Oh, my God.
Why would you watch that?
Superstar.
Yes. So you stop the off-field shit. I don't want to. I don't care. That's why I just don't care. Let them wait until their career is over and then come and sit around the table with us. And then let's have a heart-to-heart. Let's really talk about what went on back then. That's when the good stories come out. Yeah, because right now, when you're in the game, anymore. I can't say too much. I'm just not happy about what's happening. Let me just, bullshit.
We can tend to be too flippant with our players, especially when they've got issues, until it becomes really big and then those players aren't around anymore.
I'm just sick of the...
Case in point, the Fremantle player. There would be a portion of the public that would have gone, oh, he's got issues, what superstar AFL player, got all the money in the world and all the luck, he's playing in the AFL. And then next thing you know, you hear he's no longer with us. And then and only then do we start to go, well, maybe, we should.
Yeah, but this is the thing. And we're talking about Balak, is it?
Harley Balak.
Balak. Terribly sad. It is really sad. And if you can do anything to stop someone from hurting themselves or going down a path of drugs and whatever, you would, right?
Yeah.
But the media has turned this into a circus from what I can see, and I know very, very little. So if someone can tell me I'm a complete moron, I don't care. But they're blaming Fremantle and Melbourne, and then they're looking into their culture and going, well, that was their fault. Now, I've worked in an environment that I was depressed and had drinking problems. I don't drink in moderation now.
You're talking about your family. Just kidding.
Kidding. So my job as a dad, right, is I'm depressed, I'm drinking too much. No, but it's not my organisation's responsibility. If I can't turn up to work, that's my problem. Now, they can help me through it. They can give me mental support. This is the argument. They can offload me to a third-party psychiatrist. They can... But don't football clubs have that too?
They do, but they're saying that they're not doing it enough. And are they doing enough? This is the question.
How much more can they do?
But hang on a second. You just told me a minute ago that you do want to use the media as a platform to find out about all this bad stuff. And now you're saying...
No, I don't.
Hang on a sec.
I want the after stories of what happened when
When
they
they're
were
retired.
younger. And it's all done. Like I want to hear your stories, and I want to hear. I don't want to hear it when they're playing because they can't say that much. I don't want to use media as like a scapegoat. And I want people to be able to deal with everything that they need to deal with, but I don't think the club is responsible. I don't think we should go on a witch hunt now again against Melbourne, and let's go bash Melbourne Football Club once again. Every 3 months, we've got a cultural Melbourne problem. It just keeps happening, and there is no news. There's no news.
I think it's the Essendon effect. And I'm talking about young kids coming to a football club where parents are allowing their 18-year-old son to go to a professional organisation that allowed them, that put them in a dangerous situation of off-site injecting. And and that's when it really hit home for me, when I heard a mum in tears on the radio calling in saying, how could they allow this happening to my son? So there is a responsibility there because the AFL teams are full of these impressionable kids with leaders that they would follow to the cliff and jump off for just to play a game. So there is a responsibility to make sure that these guys, and I think AFL clubs do it wonderfully well now.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of systems set up, people there to make sure that these players are okay. And it is up to the player at the end of the day.
Correct.
To use those people. You can only ask so many times, are you okay?
Yes. So, but this is the point. I don't think the club has to do it. I think the club is doing it. Most of the clubs are doing it. They're doing a great job. Gary saying, Clayton Oliver's been supported really well in whatever he's going through. I'm not that personally interested. I just want him to be able to come to work and be happy. Right? That's probably what we all want.
Make it a safe, happy place for him to be.
Now, a culture of a club is really important. Now, as a player wanting to go to a club, you want to go to that club that is an employer of choice, that looks after its players, that has good leaders, that allows them to be successful. But you don't. The media doesn't have to bash them for it.
That's the point.
You should be.
That's the point right there. And that's what I was about to say.
Because they'll pull back.
The reason why they don't want to come back and play, the reason why they are taking time away from the club, and it's not just Clayton Oliver, there are other players at the moment doing that. The reason why they're leaving is because they are scared of the media and what people outside of the club think of them, because it matters, because it's loud. It's really loud.
Yep.
I would. The safest place for me when I was playing for Melbourne was the club.
Yeah.
I loved being at the club. Was when I left those rooms, I felt alone and I felt like anyone can get me. And it was always fear of what the media would say about me. And I gave them plenty of fodder too, don't you worry, like with the way I went about it. And lucky for me, I had networks and support systems that made it easier for me. And lucky I worked in a time where media wasn't that huge and influential. Now it seems, and we're at a real important time, I think, with this, because America's gone past that a long time ago. For us, how do we look after our stars? Mm-hmm. It's important, and I don't know how that is. I don't know how we do that, because there's a lot of shows where a lot of people are angry and trying to make a name for themselves, and it is boring just hearing about the stats of.
You know what? Sell the rights to the AFL to one of the broadcasters that do the NBA and the other thing, and let them teach them about how they nurture talent, and they don't need drama.
They do such a great job in America.
They don't need the drama. We just don't need drama. There's enough drama. There's Farmer Wants a Wife, if that's what you want to watch.
Can I just say, just to move, and we better move off.
We have to move. We've done well to keep going.
The Americans. Absolutely, have always been jingoistic and very, they look after their own and they celebrate. And of course, there's the dark side of this as well, and the Skip Bayless and the A. Smith, where they go at each other about LeBron James and Michael Jordan, and they're debating with anger. I was asked to do that with the Ladbrokes thing that I did. They wanted something similar, and I said to them, you know what? I reckon we Aussie people especially us blokes, like to take the mickey out of each other
Yeah.
and have a laugh at a cafe or a pub. That's us. And when someone's taking the mickey out of me and having a laugh with me, it's when I feel happy, when I feel accepted, when I feel like this person likes me. When you're taking the mick out of me, which you do a lot, like calling me a fat ass. Let me tell you a quick story. I went and played I do this all the time, but this is what it's all about. You
What, the story?
No, you learn from stories.
Let me get settled.
Can you pour me another whiskey?
Yeah. Gary, before you tell a story, Gary said drinking problems with a bottle of scotch in the hand. Well, kind of.
Well, only when you're walking your dog at 10 a.m. in the park with a bottle of scotch in your hand.
This is our only time we sit and actually have a whiskey.
This is the only time I have a drink during the week, and I really look forward to it because none such is a good drop.
I was going to say it's our only sponsor. So, if AG1 or someone wants to give us a sponsorship, I'll be chucking back the fruit smoothies.
I retired, and by retired I mean I got the arse. In
Large ass.
2009, and I think a year or two later, Daniel Ward was coaching up in the Mountain Districts. I think it was Monbulk was the team, and he asked me if I'd come and play a game because his full forward was injured, and I was, okay, no worries, I'll come and play. So I rolled up to training on the Thursday night before the week of the game, and I had been sponsored by AHG, which was a sponsor, a Perth-based company, you'd know, and I had been given cars to drive, and I rolled up in a beautiful brand new SS fast thing. I don't even know if it was a Holden. It was a Holden, and it had this slick little rego, and it just went like the clappers. It was so good. I was feeling real good about myself. I'd just come from the MCG from work, and I was wearing my Melbourne Football Club meaty polo. I walk into the rooms with my bag, put it down, g'day fellas, meeting them for the first time. Sauce out, how you going, Wardy? And went out and trained. And after training, you have dinner in the club rooms, on selection night, parmesanas and lasagnas or whatever. So I've gone in there, how good's this? The fire's going over there. And so I'm eating and I'm catching up and talking to some of the boys I'm going to be playing with on Saturday. And all of a sudden, two young fellas get up and they're doing the fines box. So they do fines during the week, and I'm sure a lot of people
we used to do it at hockey.
I swear the first 4 fines were for me. I'd been there for less than 2 hours. No. The first one was, righto, Robbo, $10 for you, first fine. You didn't have to wear the Melbourne media polo. We know you played for Melbourne, mate. Dickhead. So, yeah, all right, $10, no worries. Second fine, I think it was something to do with, being late, another one. And the third one was, and Robbo, if you want your rego plates back, they'd gone and taken my rego plates off because they were all, tradies, and they'd unscrewed them. You got to come and get them, pay $10 to get them back. And do you know what? It was like this warm, fuzzy feeling hug. I felt
community.
Accepted, and I'd just been had the mickey taken out of me straight away. It was so good.
That's good.
And that's what we want. That's what we need in this country, and that's what we're so good at. So keep it like that. This salacious stuff, it just rubs
scandal. We don't need scandal. We need mateship. We need more
right now, more than ever.
Community, mateship, have a laugh.
So what was the ENR there? Just to give us a quick summation of what it was.
Just don't. The ENR was no more off-field media bullshit.
My last one,
scrutiny.
Love it. Last ENR.
Yeah.
The last ENR for me is the talk, any negative talk about Tasmania coming into the competition should be niched straight away.
That's so weird because I nearly put no to 19 teams.
That I understand a little bit, but it's negative. So no.
It's not negative.
It's negative. It's like, well, maybe we shouldn't bring Tassie in. Anything
we just
that's a little
have
bit
19
negative.
teams. You solve the rest.
Because you've got to understand that if it's not 100% yet.
Kangaroos, doing, 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 doing.
Maybe that's the thing, but I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think the Kangaroos are going to leave. Someone will save them. Someone will come along. Brayshaw will save them.
They need to win a game.
They do, and it's been a little bit hard, but then I just don't think they're going to.
So
go
no
anywhere.
negativity.
No, because we need Tasmania in the competition. Do you know why? It's great. It's a great look for our competition.
It is good.
Yeah, we could get a third team into Sydney, into New South Wales. We could, very much so. We could get a third team into Adelaide. We could. I think they have the capacity to do it.
No.
But then we've got even numbers of teams.
They got less members than the Eagles and the Dockers.
Well, we get a third team into Perth then.
I don't think you get enough there either.
Yeah, Broome.
This week's round, we're playing in Margaret River. Anyone want to volunteer to... I'll be there. This round is the Barossa Valley. Yep, I'm in.
Oh, that's something.
We're heading to Broome. I only do road trips.
Yeah. So, yeah, to anyone that says anything negative about Tasmania. Now, I know Eddie Maguire has had something to say this week, and it's probably more to do with the business of things because he's a president and he's been a president and he's right up the top there and knows all of that sort of stuff. So maybe there's something going on behind. But when it comes to the media and saying anything about negative, please stop it because it's not there yet and I want the Tassie team in so bad.
Yeah.
What's wrong with having a week off bye? We just talked about all this podcast about how important it is for these guys to rest up and make good decisions. The last thing I want to say before we...
Negativity be gone.
Hey.
Louise said Robbo new nickname should be Pollyanna. Negativity be gone.
Be gone. I love it.
Positive vibes saves lives. Jenny Love.
Beautiful.
I love it.
It works really well.
And Gary
Even with her name, that sounds great.
I know, Jenny Love. Positive vibes saves lives.
Is your nickname Buddy? Buddy Love?
Buddy Love. Bucket.
I was thinking about this when I was doing my academy training.
Rex Colt saying, what's up?
What's up?
What's up, Rex?
What's up, Rex? I wanted to just quickly change. We're off Yanars now. It's great.
Are we nearly finished?
I think we're nearly done.
Okay.
Let's finish.
Let's
now.
not do the surprises.
No, we'll do that next week. Things that have surprised us. And have a think about it, people that are watching the show right now.
Yeah, biggest surprise for the year. We want to hear about him next week.
Yeah, round 9. What sort of player plays in the AFL?
Tassie's coming in. What a joke.
Listen to you. Listen to you. What sort of player plays in the AFL and the AFLW? What sort of person, should be the question, makes it to the elite level? I coach a lot of young kids now, and you can sort of see early days which are the ones that are going to be, it's not always 100%, but you can sort of see the ones. And when Jason Taylor sat here next to us, which was one of the most amazing interviews we've done to learn about how a football club goes through the process of selecting talent for the future, one of the real indicators for them, what they're looking for is intent and confidence. The guys that are going for the ball and girls that are going for the ball, and they have this they ooze confidence, but they've got this real gregariousness about them. You've got to be confident, but you've also got to be able to get out and talk in front of people. And I'm just thinking to myself, that's a certain type of person that they have in the AFL. They're confident, not arrogant, but need to have some sort of kind of arrogance about them. I certainly was very confident with what I was doing, and I could get up in front of people and talk and get out there and do that. Most of us are. So we're all alpha male types. And when you have a lot of alpha male types in a room, people like this, it's not always going to run smoothly, is it?
No.
You're not always going to make the right decisions.
No.
You
can be an alpha male, though, and still turn up on time. That's like,
shut up. There was a crash down the road. We herald these people. We want them to be superstars, but we want the best, and we know the best are that kind of those kind of people, and
Do you have a point?
They're going to make mistakes, is what I'm saying. They're going to get things wrong. You know, they're not going to be the most measured, intelligent, thinking their way through all these. They're supposed to be instinctual.
Just give them some space and let them do that.
That's what I mean.
Just let them grow up. Just get it off their back and let them grow up.
Please let these young guys, Harley Reid, let him grow up. Let him just give him some time. Stop putting him on the back page of the paper. We had Jack Watts on our show talking about how awful it was to be sat in front of a press conference before his first game, and that being the number 1 draft pick, he was expected to be brilliant, and when he was brilliant was like, well, so you should be, and anything less was we shit canned him.
Yeah.
The kind of people that we get into the AFL are these kind of people that I'm talking about. Just thinking about it as I was walking around, that, you know, we're supposed to be instinctual, you know, sporty, bull at a gate, go for it, confident. And when you're like that, you're not always the measured, reserved, thinking your way through things. And when they make mistakes, we go on.
But you said no negativity, Pollyanna, about Tassie. I am going to say we're pretty good in Australia at being able to go to a game with opposition supporters.
Oh, brilliant.
And go at it, and then at the after the game go, oh well. Like, thank goodness we don't have to like have fences and there's riots and there's fights and all these sort of things. So we've sort of grown up with the idea that, okay, it's okay that we can mix. But I do think the obsession, you're right. I think the point you're making, right, is like just this obsession with like just really wanting to know everything. And social media just has their claws and people are clicking on everything and there's scandalous stuff and I just don't care. And you switch off as much as you can. I don't watch any free-to-air TV, and I trying to watch the football. And yeah, I want to put the commentators on mute. Someone said something about SEN. You can tune in other commentators. Actually, that's another whole topic because I listen to the Celtics commentators, and one of the Mike, who's one of the commentators, has been doing it for 20 years, is now retired. And he's the voice of the Celtics. He's who you listen to when you listen. And they talk about their team and their club and what they're doing and what they need to do to win. Because I'm sick of listening to Brian Taylor commentate against Melbourne. It's always, what does Richmond need to do to win? What does Collingwood need to do to win? Nothing is ever positive about Melbourne. Is it just me that notices this? As a West Coast Eagles supporter, I've grown up being a little bit jaded by the commentators because most of the time they're always about what does the Victorian team need to do to win? What do they need? And you're just going, hi, we play here too, you know, and we're really wanting to win, and I would love to get some commentary on what we're doing well too. They're usually pretty good. They're getting better. But I don't know what my point is. I lost it.
No, it's a good point.
Lost my rant.
It is a good point. We need to be a little bit more positive about the way we approach our players, our you know, these guys that are really with this. What do they say? We're grease monkeys out here. We're just going for it, and you need to understand that it's just a game. Like LeBron James says, it's just basketball.
It's just basketball.
It's just basketball. You know, it's just a game of football. I think if we're going to be critical on anything at all, we should be critical on intent. And that's it.
I'm not going to be negative, but I don't think Melbourne's going to beat Geelong.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a good game. They're playing an interstate game, Geelong, this week. They're coming up to Melbourne. But they've been very impressive everywhere. So I think everyone who's a Melbourne supporter, maybe they're due.
Yeah, they could be due. Let's get down there. Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Saturday afternoon, we've got Melbourne City girls are playing against Sydney FC. My daughter's a mad soccer player, so we're going to the grand final for the Women's Liberty Cup. Melbourne City are going to win that. And what's her name that kicked the damn goal? I remember all of the players, and now I can't remember her name. Courtney Vine is playing for Sydney FC.
Yep.
My daughter loves her, but I got to remind her that she is the enemy come Saturday afternoon. So we're going to Amy Park, and then we're just going to walk across the street into the MCG. And how good is Melbourne?
And I know what's going to happen after that. You're going to ring me half cut and say, Robbo, give me a lift home.
Yeah. Hey, Robbo, can I come down the ground again? Remember last time I was a Swedish backpacker? Lay me down on the ground. Right. I'll dress appropriately this time. Yeah, can I have a lift home, Robbo? I can't catch the train. I've lost my Mikey.
Like you can't.
Oh, I haven't got my Mikey.
I love that you've got girls and you have really immersed yourself into women's sport, and you go to every game and you actually love it, and it's really great. And I've got 3 boys, so of course I'm doing so many boy things, and it's great to see my partner in life immersing herself in something that's not natural for her, which is boys sport. Okay, now, you know, that's no big deal, but it's great to see for her. You know, she's a girly girl and she's doing everything boys. It's great to see parents being good parents, and you're a great parent, Davo.
Oh, the positivity. Thank you.
We're being positive.
We are being positive. No, I'm really looking forward. I'm a big fan of the Melbourne City team. I don't have any idea what the men's team are doing. I see them every now and then, but I'm there for the girls. I actually turn up for the girls, and then when the men's game's on, sometimes I just go home or go to the footy.
They get paid enough.
There's no one at these games, and it's at Amy Park, and it's a world-class facility, and it's $20. It's like watching Melbourne when you played. There was no queue to get a drink. You walk straight up, grab a beer. Did you see the little thing I said then? Did you pick that up?
No, I didn't.
It's like when you played, and you can just walk straight up to the bar and get a drink. You missed it.
There's a heavy focus on drinking in this podcast.
Yeah, we don't drink that much,
No.
so we shouldn't. We've
had a bit of a bitch and a whinge with our ENRs. There's a lot of stuff that we've talked about that we probably don't even know if we got to the point.
Yeah, hopefully it was all right, everyone. We didn't know what to do this week, and we just felt like talking. So we've
got some interesting weeks coming up though, and one of the great ones is going to be King's birthday round. That's coming up real fast, and we know that that's the freeze at the G. Neil Danaher has been really vocal on our WhatsApp group, past players people. He is on fire at the moment. Apparently, Ungary Magpies got their first win in something like 500 days or something on the weekend. And Danaher said on the WhatsApp group, "We're back, baby." Interestingly, I believe, I think I'm right in saying, reading Neil Danaher's book, it was his old man that started that football club back in, because that's New South Wales on the border up there close to. Sorry, Fee's just thrown a pencil at it.
She threw a pen at me. I think she was trying to get my attention, and she threw a pen.
Yeah,
and now she's
you're
pointing
supposed
at
to
the
be reading the comments. What's going on, mate? You've got the computer.
So Pam said, "Hey guys, what's happened to the music that was supposed to be part of a very Melbourne podcast? It's been a while."
We've been trying to get musos to come and play for us, but they won't. We got to be a little bit.
Tried that hard.
We've got to be a little bit better.
I could do an impromptu song.
Not right now. You're not set up.
Doesn't matter.
We'll go on then. You were going to tell us a little bit about what's going on around in Melbourne.
That was it. It was the Melbourne City game.
No, the Pearl Jam.
Oh, Pearl
situation.
Jam. Oh, yeah. So music this week. Pearl Jam album came out. If you watch the YouTube,
you sound like an old man then.
The amount of times I've said, if you look up the Google and then go, the Google. If you watch YouTube, there's a Pearl Jam documentary on there that's about 45 minutes to an hour. It goes into their clubhouse and it goes through all the guitars they had, the history, the making of the new album. It's great. Awesome. It's so good. It made me go, oh man, I really want a big warehouse. And then I realized I'm not like in the
You're not in Pearl Jam.
I'm not in Pearl Jam, and I'm not in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and not making $50 million a year. Therefore, I can't afford a warehouse. But it's a really good documentary. The new album, Dark Matter, is really good. They're touring soon. Taylor Swift's album dropped as well, and I got the lowdown from my daughter during the week about what her thoughts are. She's putting it in the top 3 of the albums that she's got. Midnight's is number 1 for her. It's pretty good, somewhere between Evermore and Folklore, but you guys probably don't care.
But we do take the point that we did say we were going to have music on our show, and we are going to do something about that. Especially when we go live from the pub.
Could we or no? I mean, no. I could. There's a microphone. How high could it be?
Davo, it's you. You are quite welcome to. I won't be.
Fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Is that a couple of whiskeys? Every time I come to Davo's house, he's written a new song.
Oh, yeah, I wrote a new one.
Don't play that. Surely you're not going to...
It's really good, though.
If I do say so myself.
I don't remember how it goes.
Don't play a song. Well, you better put the reverb back on.
How's that sound? I really need a capo for this song.
Well, this is your house. I don't know where the capos
are. Hey, it's been really good.
Been a good show.
So
I
this is
enjoyed
off
that.
my album, but it's a really low key, so I want to see if it can play it. Nah, okay, I can't do that song.
You're very brave. I could not do this.
Really?
I could
Why
not just all of a sudden start playing a song without at least preparing myself and warming up and getting ready.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's only live.
All right, so this is the first song of the album, and it's from listening to Too Much Sons of Anarchy. I'll only play half of it. So it's off this album, my album called These Lies That Divide Us. We are going to get musicians back on. I saw Paul Dempsey and Bernard Fanning recording an album together. they're probably not going to join our podcast, but we can always dream high.
To take us out.
So this album was recorded with a good friend of mine, Cam McKenzie,
Yep.
who's also recorded Epicure, which is a great Melbourne band, and we will get Joanne Alban in because one of my favourite albums of all time is Epicure, The Goodbye Girl.
Yep.
And Cam also recorded the Epicure album, and he plays with Mark Seymour. So he played at the MCG last year, so we should get him on and talk about what he said, which is football and music should not mix.
Let's do that. To take us out of a very Melbourne podcast, Davo.
When things get rough, you don't know which way to go. And your heart says yes, but your head says take it slow. And you search within, but nothing can be found. You want the world to stop, make it stop spinning round. 'Cause lately I've gone crazy, don't know what to do. Lately I've gone crazy, crazy over you. There's another verse and another chorus, but I'll stop it there. Thank you for listening.
Woo!
Thanks for listening to our podcast. And that song is on, it's called Lately Crazy, and it's off These Lines That Divide Us, which is under Dave Anderson on Spotify. If you listen, I'll double my listeners for the year.
See you next week, everyone.
See you later, guys.